Part 2. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 11. Chu Wei was also a little excited for a while, because Chu Wei woke up early the day before yesterday and discovered a situation, that is, the spiritual energy value obtained through exercise has become less. In the past, one exercise could obtain 500 spiritual energy value. However, after he upgraded to the level 1 level of spiritual energy, he only had 50 spiritual energy points after exercising once. More importantly, the system also prompted that he could only obtain it once a day. If you take spiritual energy pills and practice, you will definitely be able to fly faster again. However, Chu Wei still shook his head. It was impossible to tell others that he had become stronger through the system. Besides, if you need elixirs, you can figure it out on your own. With the system, there is nothing you can't do. Seeing Chu Wei shaking his head and leaving, Mo Kongxiu was full of anger, then his expression became unwilling, and finally became very lost, and walked back step by step. Why did Mo Kongxiu have to ask how he became stronger? Chu Wei, who was walking on the street, was actually a little confused. In addition to cars and various means of transportation, there are various shops on both sides of the street, the most popular of which are weapon shops and elixir stores. In this era full of dangers, weapons can kill enemies, and elixirs can save lives and improve cultivation, so they are naturally the most popular. System: is it true that the wisdom points written on the attribute table can be used to obtain a piece of professional knowledge after consumption? Certainly. Then I will spend my wisdom points to obtain the knowledge of alchemy. If you can make elixirs yourself, then becoming stronger is not just about flying all the way. System: okay. Wait a minute, I don't want the knowledge of alchemy, I want the knowledge of weapon refining. System: okay. Ding. Congratulations to the host for gaining first level weapon refining knowledge and being able to forge all first level weapons. Ding. The host deducts 1 wisdom attribute point. After deduction, the wisdom attribute point is 0. As the voice fell, Chu Wei only felt his head shake slightly, and then a memory about forging appeared in Chu Wei's mind. I really gained the knowledge of weapon refining. Chu Wei was filled with joy. Now he can be called a first-level weapon refiner. The weapon refiner is a very profitable profession. Are you still worried that you won't be able to buy elixirs by then? Also, this system is really great. It seems that as long as you have enough wisdom attribute points, you can become a formation carver, alchemist, etc., not to mention a weapon refiner. It is really a comprehensive development of morality, body, and beauty. Chu Wei walked towards the Weapon Refiners Guild in the south of the city. When Chu Wei was exchanging knowledge with the system, Chu Wei had thought that although alchemists also made money, they could make the elixirs they needed by themselves. But Chu Wei prefers the weapon refiner because he has liked all kinds of weapons since he was a child. For example, he likes all the magic weapons in the comics. However, after becoming a weapon refiner, you can refine these magic weapons by yourself. The Weapon Refiners Guild in the south of the city is not very far from Chu Wei's school, and can be reached in half an hour. If you want to make money as a weapon refiner, you must first pass the assessment of the Weapon Refiners Union. Only then will you be a recognized weapon refiner, and the weapons you make will be considered qualified. Kid, this is the Weapon Refiners Guild. No one else can enter. At the gate of the Refiners Union, 2 big men guarding the gate stopped Chu Wei. I want to go in and test the qualifications of the weapon refiner. Chu Wei spoke calmly. A brat like you is here to test the qualifications of a weapon refiner? Stop making trouble and go home, or else I'll spank you. The big man at the door obviously didn't believe that a boy of about 16 years old like Chu Wei could be a weapon refiner. None of the weapon refiners they had ever seen were middle-aged. You want to hit me? Chu Wei looked at the big man with indifferent eyes and asked coldly. The big man was stunned when he looked at Chu Wei's faint eyes. This kid's eyes are so special. Although there is no emotion, it is like a lion staring at you, as if he will change his face in the next second, open his bloody mouth, and swallow the person. Perhaps even Chu Wei himself didn't know that since he got the system to become stronger yesterday, his whole temperament has changed. This is a kind of self-confidence that believes that one will become a strong person, just like the young lion. Although it does not have particularly strong attack power yet, the lion's natural strong aura has begun to be reflected. Who is this? You came to the door of my refiner's guild early in the morning and put on a cool face. Do you think this is my place? A voice full of disdain came from the other side of the door. Chu Wei turned around and saw a young man of about 20 years old walking over. He was dressed in gorgeous clothes, with hair wax and an old-school pot hairstyle. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, GeniusProtagonist. Chapter 12. There is a woman next to the young man, almost the same age as him. The woman is very beautiful, with a pair of big eyes that seem to have water in them. Such charming eyes have never been seen on the girls in school. Wei Xiao, this kid said that he is a weapon refiner and he wants to go in for the assessment. The big man at the door spoke. What? Look at him, he's just a poor student. What kind of weapon refiner is being tested? From now on, I will drive away this kind of cat and dog, so as not to spoil my young master's mood. Lin Wei is the son of the vice president of the Weapon Refining Union. In the past few years, he has slowly taken over the affairs of the Weapon Refining Masters Union. It is said that Lin Wei is extremely talented and became a first-level weapon refiner at the age of 18, making him the youngest first-level weapon refiner in the entire Taiyuan city. Let's go, didn't you hear what Westbrook said? You're a poor student. What if I can pass the weapon refiner's test? Chu Wei spoke calmly, without any intention of leaving immediately. Hey! I said you are a poor student, didn't you understand what I said? Do you want me to tell you to get out again with my fists? Chu Wei's face was cold. He had never expected that things would develop into this situation. No, Westbrook, how could you say such violent words this early in the morning? Don't scare me, Tang Meyer, the woman next to Westbrook, said, since this kid wants to give it a try, then maybe he can really pass the test of the weapon refiner. Just him. If he can pass, I will give him all my refining furnaces and pack them up and send them to his home. When Lin Wei spoke, he looked at Tang Meyer's hot figure, with lust in his eyes that wanted to push her to the other side. It's a deal. Chu Wei answered the call. Lin Wei was stunned. He didn't expect that this poor student would actually take it seriously. What? Don't the words you said count? Will my words count? Chen Wei could not do anything contrary to his promise in front of Tang Meyer. However, if you fail the test today, you have to crawl out of the union like a dog. Brat, if you dare to play with me, I'm afraid you can't afford it. Good. Chu Wei agreed immediately. Lin Wei, Tang Meyer, and the two big men at the door were all stunned. Chu Wei answered so quickly that he almost didn't even think about it. Could it be, does he really have this strength? At this moment, Tang Meyer's big watery eyes began to look at Chu Wei seriously. She was originally just joking, but she didn't expect that it would lead to the current confrontation. Then go in. After thinking about it, Lin Wei still felt that it was impossible for Chu Wei to pass the examination, because as a member of the Weapon Refiners Guild, he had never heard of a 16-year-old weapon refiner in Taiyuan City. Moreover, he only became a first-level weapon refiner when he was 18 years old. How could a poor student surpass him? That is simply impossible. Chu Wei followed Lin Wei in, and Tang Meyer followed beside him, looking at Chu Wei from time to time with curiosity in his eyes. Is this student really a weapon refiner? If this is really the case, then I have to win over him, and maybe I can get rid of Lin Wei's control in the future. Enter the Refiner's Guild. Rows of weapons are arranged neatly. This is the scene inside the Weapon Master's Guild. Aura guns, attribute knives, super soul sniper rifles, detonating runes, the various types of weapons are truly dazzling. For example, the 1-meter-long super spiritual sniper rifle in front of Chu Wei looks very similar to the sniper rifles on Earth in 2019, but it is driven by spiritual power. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 13. Spiritual power will condense at the muzzle of the sniper rifle and finally form a spiritual bullet. It is said that this weapon can kill second-level mutant beasts remotely, and it can be said to be the most powerful of the first-level weapons. What a bumpkin! Lin Wei couldn't help but laugh secretly at Chu Wei's eyes on those weapons. Ask yourself, who would show such curiosity to these first-level weapons as a first-level refiner? Because refiners deal with weapons every day, they are no longer surprised by ordinary weapons, and they won't look at them more even if they are placed in front of them. Poor student, come with me to the refinery room. Let you open your eyes. Lin Wei smiled, and suddenly he felt that it was a good thing to have a bumpkin to add some fun to himself. Chu Wei followed Lin Wei to the refinery room. The lobby was where the weapons were displayed just now, and the refinery room was where the refiners refine the weapons. Just now, not only Chu Wei, but also Tang Meier felt that the temperature in the refinery room was much higher than outside. Manager. An apprentice came forward to greet Chu Wei. Come on, everyone stop for a moment. Lin Wei didn't even look at the apprentice. 5 or 6 people in the refining room who were standing by the furnace immediately stopped and looked at Lin Wei, Chu Wei, and others at the door. When they saw Tang Meier, who was beautiful and hot, they all looked surprised. After all, there were few such beautiful women in this noisy refining room. Old Su, let your furnace go for a while. This poor student wants to take the test of a first-level refiner. Lin Wei pointed at Chu Wei. What? Manager, are you saying that this kid wants to take the test? Old Su was in his 40s or 50s. He had practiced weapons all his life but was only a first-level refiner. He was very surprised that a 16-year-old kid wanted to take the test. Yes, it's him. That's unlikely. Yes. Manager, you are kidding, even a talented refiner like you didn't pass the assessment until he was 18 years old, can he surpass you? Yes. Yes. I have been in Taiyuan City for a few years, but I have never heard of such a student who has learned to refine. Whether he has learned it or not, he is only 16 years old, can his talent surpass the manager? So there is no need to assess it at all, don't waste everyone's time. The one-sided evaluation of the crowd made Lin Wei's face full of smiles, and he secretly glanced at Tang Meier from the corner of his eyes. This kind of admiration from the crowd is the easiest to move a woman. However, Tang Meier's eyes were on Chu Wei at the moment. She found that this student was not flustered at all in the face of the crowd's evaluation, and his face was full of confidence. Get out of the way. Chu Wei didn't say much, and went directly to Lao Su's refining furnace. It seems that this student really wants to take the test. Yes. Don't say I'm making it difficult for you. As long as you refine a low-grade first-level weapon, you'll pass. Lin Wei felt that he should try to act more manly in front of Tang Meier. No, I want to refine the most difficult super spiritual sniper rifle in the first level. What? He wants to refine a super spiritual sniper rifle. Even the most skilled first-level refiner dare not say that he can succeed in refining it. He actually wants to refine the most difficult weapon. Everyone was shocked. This student is too arrogant. He didn't even pass the first-level test, but he wants to refine the most difficult weapon in the first level. Can this be said to be ignorant of life and death? Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 14. Okay, I'll help you. Since you like to pretend so much, I'll see how you crawl out of here like a dog later. Lin Wei didn't expect that he was in a good mood and asked him to choose an easy one, but he actually chose a difficult one. Let's see how you end it. Chu Wei didn't waste words. With a wave of his hand, he opened the more than 1-meter high forging furnace in front of him for refining weapons. The appearance of this forging furnace looks like the 8 diagrams furnace of Lejun in Journey to the West. The forging furnace is driven by spiritual energy, although Chu Wei has never used it before. But at this moment, Chu Wei didn't feel strange at all, but as familiar as an old classmate he hadn't seen for many years. That's because the knowledge of refining that Chu Wei had previously exchanged for wisdom attribute points has taken root in Chu Wei's mind. Throw a piece of heavy iron into the furnace. Chu Wei's spiritual energy drives the furnace to make this piece of heavy iron take shape in the furnace. This is the handle of the gun. He really started. It seems that he still knows something, at least he can open the forge. What's the big deal? I can open it too, an apprentice next to him said unconvincedly. If he could become a first-level refiner by opening the forge, he would have succeeded long ago. Add some soft iron. This is used to refine the gun barrel. When the spiritual energy is compressed into a bullet, it will form a huge pressure. Heavy iron is too rigid and it is easy to break. Adding soft iron will be much better. When everyone saw the gun barrel taking shape, a refiner nodded. The refining of this soft iron seems simple, but the control of the flame is very high. If the flame is too high, it will melt, and if the flame is too low, it cannot be formed. Therefore, this is not something that a refiner with 2 years of experience cannot do. I didn't expect the student to be able to do it so easily. Could it be? Is he the heir of a refiner family? After refining to this point, everyone's face no longer had the contemptuous expression at the beginning. Ding! Congratulations to the host for exercising brain power and gaining a little spiritual attribute. What? Chu Wei, who was concentrating on his work, was stunned. He almost lost control of the temperature of the furnace. He had obtained the spiritual attribute that he had not yet obtained. As soon as the system's voice fell, Chu Wei felt a cool breeze suddenly blow into his mind. His vision, hearing, sensitivity, and the sense of his skin seemed to have improved at this moment. The most obvious feeling was that Chu Wei was more adept at super-controlling the flame of the furnace. The effect of the spiritual attribute is to enhance the 5 senses of the body and make the senses of the body more acute. This is simply like adding wings to a tiger. You know, when a weapon refiner is forging weapons, the more acute his senses are, the more handy he will be when forging, and the easier it will be to succeed. People call this acute sense, talent. It's cool. Chu Wei almost laughed out loud. It seems that today will be a great harvest. The last step, cool down and take out of the furnace. A layer of cold air suddenly appeared in the forging furnace that was originally blazing with fire. This was also formed by the spiritual energy stimulating the forging furnace. The forge was opened, and a super spiritual sniper rifle appeared in front of the silent crowd. The appearance and size were exactly the same as the one placed in the Union Hall. Take it for inspection. Chu Wei's voice broke the quiet environment on the scene. Yes, we must check it. Maybe the quality is not up to standard, the apprentice was the first to answer. Seeing others succeed, he was jealous and hoped that others would have loopholes. Old Su, take a look. Lin Wei said coldly. If this kid succeeded, wouldn't it mean that he was much better than himself? Then wouldn't the words these people praised him before be a slap in his face? Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 15. Manager, there is no problem with the Super Spirit Sniper Rifle. Old Su looked at the sniper rifle handed over by Chu Wei twice. There was no problem with the handle or the barrel of the bullet that condensed the spirit energy. It was just like a seasoned weapon refiner forged it. Lin Wei's face suddenly turned cold. Humph. Lin Wei turned around and was about to leave. Manager Lin, you seem to have forgotten something. Chu Wei shouted coldly. Oh? What do you think you forgot? Lin Wei turned around and asked coldly. If what you said before was not fart, then you said that if I passed the assessment, you would give me your forging furnace. Chu Wei's words did not leave any face. Why should we save face for him? The atmosphere in the entire weapon refinery room suddenly became cold. The two weapon refiners and several apprentices did not dare to speak. Tang Meier's pair of big eyes like water looked at Chu Wei with increasing curiosity. Could it be that Chu Wei had some background, otherwise how could he dare to talk to Lin Wei like this? Although the Taiyuan City Refining Union, which Lin Wei's father is in charge of, is only a small branch of the Donglian State Refining Union, it is enough to prove that their Lin family has status in the entire Taiyuan City. Ordinary people dare not offend them at all. Even if it is himself, sometimes he has to look at Lin Wei's face. That's right, you have refined the Super Spirit Sniper Rifle. Logically, you have passed the assessment. My forging furnace is over there. If you have the courage, take it away. Lin Wei said it lightly, but everyone could hear the threat in his words. Chu Wei sneered. Am I scared? He walked forward a few steps and came to a red forging furnace. This forging furnace was obviously more advanced than the previous one. Chu Wei took out his mobile phone and scanned it at the forging furnace, and the forging furnace disappeared immediately. Mobile phones in this era can not only make calls and play games, but also have the function of space storage. This forging furnace was stored in the space storage of the mobile phone by Chu Wei. Enough courage. Lin Wei said coldly and left without looking back. Chu Wei did not stop and left the refiner union directly. Although he did not get the certificate of passing the assessment today, because Lin Wei would not give him a certificate at all. But he got Lin Wei's forging furnace. Originally, he wanted to pass the assessment of the refiner union partly because he wanted to prove himself, and a large part of the reason was that although he had the skills, he did not have a forging furnace. Originally, as long as he passed the assessment of the refiner union, he could use the union's furnace to refine weapons and make money. But now it is not necessary. He got a furnace, and it is much better than ordinary furnaces. There is no need to look at other people's faces anymore. And I also found that forging can actually get spiritual attribute points, which is really great. In the afternoon, Chu Wei walked around Taiyuan City for half a day. For this era, Chu Wei felt that it was much stronger than the Earth in 2019. Whether it was the cannons, fighters, robots based on spiritual energy, or various high-rise buildings with dozens of floors, or the sky castle above the sky now, they all showed the power of this era. Of course, there are also many dangers outside this era that make people scared when they think about it. For example, the computer city that Chu Wei had heard of was rumored to be a city of death where anyone who entered would die. The one who ruled there was a super-mutated supercomputer that hated humans, so anyone who dared to enter its territory never came out alive. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 16. There is also the south of the Eastern Alliance. I heard that there is a treasure land somewhere in the south. There are treasures everywhere, but that place has a terrifying name, called, the Land of Shura. It is said that there is no light in the place, and there are ghosts floating everywhere and bursts of crying and howling, which makes people feel creepy. Return to the school gate. Chu Weigang wanted to walk into the school. Hey, this classmate, please wait a moment. Chu Wei turned around and saw a woman with a hot figure and a charming face walking towards him, especially her eyes, which seemed to be filled with water. It was Tang Meyer whom I had met at the Refiners Guild in the morning. Is something wrong? Tang Meyer was slightly startled. Isn't this person too direct? If another man had greeted me, he wouldn't have been so enthusiastic. I didn't expect that even though you are young, you are quite courageous. You actually dare to take Lin Wei's things. Who in Taiyuan City doesn't know that Lin Wei will avenge himself? You came here to tell me this. Chu Wei frowned slightly and took it as soon as he took it. Is he still afraid? He didn't believe that Lin Wei dared to come to school and kill people. Of course not, Tang Meyer said directly, I'm here to ask you to cooperate. If we can negotiate, our Tang family may be able to protect you. I don't need protection. He has a system, and he also has superpowers. Chu Wei is no longer the poor student he used to be who can be bullied by anyone. Moreover, he will grow in an extremely fast way. Even if he becomes the most powerful person in Taiyuan City, it will only be a matter of time. Although the strongest people in Taiyuan City were all in the realm of superpowers, he believed that it would not be long before he would catch up with them. Then let's just talk about cooperation. What do you think? You want me to train you with weapons? Chu Wei and Tang Meyer had only known each other for half a day. If the other party felt that he was valuable, he must have taken a fancy to his talent in weapon training. Smart, Tang Meyer realized more and more that the student was different. It's not that I'm smart, but I know that cooperation is about profit. It seems that the only thing I can bring benefits to you is my identity as a weapon refiner. Tell me, how do you want to cooperate? This man was so straightforward. Tang Meyer said, you can refine weapons for me. You can ask for whatever you want. As long as I can do it, I will try my best to satisfy you. Elixir. Spiritual energy pill. Readily. Make a deal. Tomorrow I will ask my servants to come to you with the weapon materials that need to be refined. After you complete the refining, I will pay you the spiritual energy pill. Chu Wei returned to the dormitory after agreeing to cooperate. As for why Tang Meyer wanted to cooperate with him, Chu Wei didn't think much about it, because the reason didn't matter, as long as the other party paid. Tangjia Trading Company. In the steward's room of one of the two major trading houses in Taiyuan City, Tang Meyer, the daughter of the Chamber of Commerce president, was facing Chen Ji and said, Steward Chen, tomorrow you will take the materials on this list and give them to Chu Wei from the Ziyuling school. Chen Ji took the list, glanced at it, and his expression changed. Miss, haven't the weapons sold by our firm always been provided by the Refiners Guild? Why did it suddenly change to this person named Chu Wei? No need to ask anything, just do as you are told. Tang Meyer has the demeanor of a superior person. I see. Chen Ji couldn't say anything, but he had doubts in his heart. Could it be that the weapons made by this man named Chu Wei were better than those made by the Weapon Refiners Guild? Remember to be respectful when facing Chu Wei. Chen Ji nodded, maybe this Chu Wei was some big shot that he didn't know. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiang ZK. Chapter 17. Watching Chen Ji leave, Tang Meier's eyes showed a shrewd look. Lin Wei from the Refiners Union always relied on the fact that he was the only place in Taiyuan City that supplied weapons to their company to increase the price at will, causing her to lose money. He also sent her flowers and invited her to dinner from time to time. She was already annoyed. The appearance of Chu Wei just gave her the opportunity to sell weapons at the original price in the Chamber of Commerce without relying on the Refiners Union. Chu Wei pushed open the door of the dormitory, and several roommates immediately surrounded him. After a series of events yesterday, Chu Wei had become a celebrity in the entire dormitory. Brother Chu, you're back. Yeah, Chu Wei nodded. Sitting back on his bed, thinking about his system in his mind. Seeing that Chu Wei looked like he was thinking, everyone did not disturb him. Call up his character attribute panel. Strength, 10 points, the attack power that can be caused is 1000 kilograms. Physical strength, 4 points, can form a defense against attacks below 400 kilograms. Agility, 3 points, 2.5 attacks per second. Spirit, 1 point. Wisdom, 0 points. Note, the host can consume wisdom points to obtain various professional knowledge, and can also use wisdom points to ask questions to the system. Spiritual energy value, 50/20,000. Main attribute points, 1 point. Only 1/100 is needed to upgrade the next version of the system. Host ability, Red Lightning. Host occupation, first level equipment refiner. The entire attribute panel basically has no big fluctuations, only the host occupation is added. Looking at his own panel, Chu Wei thought about how to become stronger quickly. No matter in which era, strength is the capital of speaking. Chu Wei took out a green pill from his arms and swallowed it. This is a spiritual energy pill, which was given to him by Tang Meyer as a gift when she left. This Tang Meyer is really generous. This kind of thing worth 10,000 Liangguo coins is given as soon as it is said. The pill entered the body and immediately turned into a stream of spiritual energy filling Chu Wei's abdomen after it was dissolved. Ding! The host takes the spirit pill, and the spirit value increases by 100, and the spirit value is 150/20,000. That's quite a lot, 100 points added. Chu Wei was very satisfied. You know, he only got 50 points after an hour of exercise in the morning, and now it's 100 points in just a few seconds. Zhou Fei, look. Roommate Tang Chao pointed at a WeChat Moments dynamic on the tablet and shouted. Isn't this the cold and aloof class flower Mo Kongxiu? It's Mo Kongxiu, my god, this Zhang Jun actually held flowers on the bridge to ask for a relationship, and posted a WeChat Moments to ask for blessings. In the WeChat Moments photo, Zhang Jun placed a large wreath and looked at Mo Kongxiu. Bless you. Several roommates actually disliked Zhang Jun, but they didn't dare to say it because of Zhang Jun's strength. Look, someone posted another dynamic. The title is Zhang Jun failed to court, and he was alone and sad. There was also a photo of Zhang Jun alone at the bridge. Ha ha ha, I like the class beauty. Well done. The dormitory cheered. After a while, Tang Chao said, what do you think this cool class beauty in our class likes? Definitely not someone like you. Could it be you? Zhou Fan, do you think you have a chance? I think the class beauty might like someone like me. I'm a licker, cool people usually like to be licked. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 18. Chu Wei couldn't help but smile at the argument. These guys just like to discuss women. Brother Chu, tell me, what kind of man do you think our class beauty likes? Chu Wei thought for a while, a very strong man. After all, since he became stronger, Mo Kongxiu either handed him a note or asked him to watch a movie. Everyone was stunned, and then all agreed, insightful. Although you think Mo Kongxiu is beautiful, I think women outside are feminine. Li Chen's face was full of memories, as if he had seen beauties outside the school who looked like fairies. Women outside? Li Chen, tell me. Just like Tang Mei from the Tang Family Chamber of Commerce, her eyes are as tender as water, and she wears less and has long legs. She is also more plump. Li Chen, you observe so carefully, you are not secretly in love with that girl, right? No way, appreciate. Listening to everyone's discussion again, Chu Wei was surprised in his heart, why the two women discussed in the dormitory tonight were all related to him. One asked him to watch a movie, and the other asked him to cooperate. I just want to quietly think about how to become stronger quickly, don't keep distracting me. Punch after punch hits the tree quickly, making the tree shake and drop leaves. Chu Wei came to the back mountain of the school early this morning. Usually there are not many people here, it is a good place to test yourself. Chu Wei stretched out his hand, and his mind moved, and red lightning immediately wrapped around his hand. Crack! Crack! It was a bit scary. Chu Wei punched out, bang, hitting the big tree in front of him. The waist of the big tree, which was as thick as a bucket, broke immediately, and the 10-meter-high tree fell to the ground and hit the ground heavily. The broken part of the tree was full of wood chips, and there were traces of burning. Chu Wei was slightly stunned, and then surprised. This power was too great. Chu Wei didn't expect that after using the red lightning, he knocked down the uncle with one punch, and the place where he hit was even shattered. You know, although the big tree on the back hill of the school has not mutated, it is a hard iron tree. A few days ago, Chu Wei's fist hit it and the tree didn't even shake. Even the class monitor Zhang Jun didn't have the confidence to knock down the iron tree with one blow, not to mention that the place where he hit was smashed so much. Awesome, my superpower. Chu Wei was very satisfied with the first superpower he got. I really want to enter the mutant forest as soon as possible. Chu Wei began to look forward to the forest trip next Friday. As long as he arrived at the mutant forest, he would definitely see many mutant beasts. At that time, he could rely on the system to continuously extract genes, and maybe he would soon get a new superpower. Chu Wei has begun to look forward to what his next superpower will be. By the way, let's go quickly. Today's movement is a bit big, maybe the school security team will be here soon. Not long after Chu Wei left, two people from the school security team came here. Li Wei, look, this iron tree was knocked down by something. When Li Wei and Li Ming were patrolling nearby, they heard the roar of the iron tree falling to the ground and rushed over. They originally thought that it was another zombie that escaped the net, but they didn't expect to find nothing when they came over. It was knocked down by a very strong force. Li Wei looked at the fallen tree with a solemn face. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 19. Yeah. Look, the place that was hit is all broken into pieces. I'm afraid that even if we can knock down the iron tree, we can't do this. That's right, wait, look, there are traces of burning. The two were shocked at the same time, and then looked at each other. It was caused by superpowers. That's easy to understand. The two breathed a sigh of relief. The power of superpowers would have a deep impression on people of this era. If someone knocked down the iron tree with physical strength alone, they would be surprised, but if it was superpowers, they would think it was normal. After all, the attack power of superpowers is special. For example, some great power superpowers can strengthen people's bones, so they are extremely powerful. For example, the flame superpower can super control high temperature flames, so it is normal even if it melts the iron tree. I just don't know which student with superpowers did it. Li Wei still wanted to find the culprit. What if you know? Do you still expect a student with superpowers to help you clean up the scene? There are only a dozen students with superpowers in the whole school, and each of them is the school's treasure. Do you still want to punish them for such a small matter? Li Wei smiled bitterly and shook his head. Yes, it seems that he can only do the task of moving the fallen tree by himself. At this moment, the culprit Chu Wei has walked out of the school gate. Just after walking out of the school gate, Chen Ji, the manager of the Tang Family Chamber of Commerce, came to Chu Wei. Chen Ji looked at the photos on his mobile phone, and after confirming that Chu Wei in front of him was the person in the photo, he said, Mr. Chu, I am Chen, the manager of the Tang Family Chamber of Commerce. This time I came to give you the refining materials. Chen Ji was respectful on the surface, but there was some contempt in his eyes. He later found out yesterday that the Chu Wei mentioned by Tang Meir was not a big figure in refining, but an ordinary student. He immediately felt that it was unwise for Tang Meir to hand over such a big matter as the supply of weapons for the Chamber of Commerce to a student, but Tang Meir was the boss, and he felt that there was no way. Chu Wei had sharp senses and noticed the contempt in Chen Ji's eyes at a glance. However, he did not say much, but simply took out his mobile phone. "Give them all to me." The two phones were connected, and the weapon materials stored in Chen Ji's phone were directly transferred to Chu Wei's phone. "Mr. Chu, is it really okay for you to refine weapons? We have placed an order for 50 weapons this time. If you can't refine them on time, it will lose the interests of our Chamber of Commerce. After all, these orders have been paid for by someone." Chu Wei looked up at Chen Ji and asked instead, "Did Tang Meir ask you to ask this?" Chen Ji was stunned. He didn't expect a student to ask this question. He said, "No. It's me." "Can you make the decision?" Chu Wei asked again. "This, Miss Tang Meir is in charge of the Chamber of Commerce's affairs. That's none of your business." Chu Wei said coldly, and then left without looking back. In his opinion, Chen Ji was just a small character, and there was no need to waste too much time with him. "Since he despises me, why should I respect him?" Chen Ji stared at Chu Wei's back for a long time. It was the first time he met such a sharp student. He was so cool. "If you can't deliver the goods on time, I don't know what you can do to show off in front of me." Chen Ji didn't believe how powerful a student could be in refining weapons. Chu Wei walked through several streets, turned on his phone, and looked at the materials sent by Chen Ji. These materials were obviously more than 50 weapons. It seemed that Tang Meir was afraid that she would fail accidentally, so she gave her some spare materials. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Xu Xiangzike. Chapter 20. Among the social people he has come into contact with so far, Chu Wei thinks that Tang Meir is good, but others are not good, such as Lin Wei, the two janitors, the apprentices in the weapon refining room, and Chen Ji just now. They all have little ability, but they are very impressive. In addition to these materials, part of the deposit for refining weapons was also given to Chu Wei's mobile phone. The deposit is 1 spiritual energy pill and 2,000 federal coins. The 2,000 United Nations coins in this world are about the same as the 2,000 personal coins in 2019. Looking at the balance of his mobile phone, Chu Wei smiled happily. Just a few days ago, the balance in his mobile phone was all zero. This mobile phone was given to him by a kind aunt, otherwise he would not even have a mobile phone. Really, he is a truly poor student. Before, he had no money and could only eat free meals at school. Without money, he could only wear school uniform for a month. With no money, he didn't even treat a girl to a drink. "I finally feel rich." Chu Wei smiled. It seems that it is the same in every era. Although money is not everything, but without money, it is really impossible. After walking a few more steps, Chu Wei came to the door of a snack bar. There are 4 or 5 student customers in the store. "Aunt Lu." It turns out that Xiao Chu is here. The store owner Lu Shui is about 30 years old. When Chu Wei first traveled to this era, not only did he have nothing, but he almost starved to death on the street. It was Aunt Lu who took him in and gave him a mobile phone. She was the only person in this area who was kind to him. "People. Yeah, you're coming to see Auntie today and Sunday, Xiao. Xiao, come out quickly and see who is coming." "Brother Chu Wei, it's you. That's great. You haven't come to see Xiao for a long time." A little girl came out of the room and threw herself into Chu Wei's arms. Xiao's face is not only fair, but also as cute as a porcelain doll. Although she was wearing a simple gray dress, she looked like a little princess living among the people. And there were many times when Chu Wei felt that Xiao was mysterious because her eyes were blue, and Aunt Lu never mentioned who Xiao's father was. After chatting with this cute little princess for a while, Chu Wei felt a little uncomfortable in his stomach and went to WC. Hey, you guys don't want to give me face? Our store is not far across the street, and you actually come here to eat? Three boys dressed as students suddenly came to Lu Shui's shop and slapped the students on the table while they were eating. Vegetables and rice were immediately spilled on the table. Several students were obviously afraid of Zhou Ping, and said cowardly, "We don't know." "Don't know," Zhou Ping yelled, "now you know." I know, I know." Several students were so frightened that they spoke repeatedly. "Humph. You bad guys are here to destroy our business again. This is the third time Lu Xiao has seen these people come to their store in the past few days. What do you call a little bastard of unknown origin here? He doesn't even have a father. It must be your mother who stole your life. You, how can you talk like that?" A few tears appeared in Lu Xiao's sapphire eyes. "How can you kids talk like this?" Lu Shui came over. "Why can't you talk like this? You, a woman who doesn't know how to seduce any man and give birth to a bastard, do you still want to teach us how to talk?"